Hello, welcome back to lesson 97, our last lesson of the week. We're going to talk about transversals. A transversal is basically you have two lines that are going in one way and you have a line that intersects both those lines. So it's a transversal. Here today, and for the purposes of this book, we're going to talk about transversals of parallel lines. So here we're going to imagine that we have M and N that are parallel to each other, and then we have line P, which is going to be going across both of those as a transversal. Okay? So they want to talk to you. Basically today we're just going to be talking mostly about vocabulary here. So what they're going to want you to do is they're going to want you to name or letter each one of the angles that this line that's a transversal. They want you to name all those angles that go across those two parallel lines. And then they're going to ask you some questions about them. So there's a few ways to define these. The ones outside of the parallel lines are called exterior. So any angles outside of here are going to be exterior. Same thing down here, exterior. And then here we have our interior. Those are the angles that are going to be inside the parallel, and we have the angles that go on the outside. Okay? So they're going to want you, there are some things that you got to keep in mind. If you think about it, since this is going to be a straight line, right, and this intersects it, that angle 1 plus angle 2 is going to be 180 degrees, because 180 degrees is going to be a straight line. So this plus this is going to be 180 degrees. Same thing here. 3 and 4, add those two together, it's going to be 180 degrees. Same thing on this side. So if we think 5 plus 6, angles 5 plus angle 6 is going to be 180. And same thing here. Those two is going to be 180. Another couple things you can look at. So we have how many obtuse angles do we have? Well, we've got these two obtuse angles, and then we've got these two obtuse angles. Okay? So that's gonna tell you that you have got 4 total obtuse. If you think about it, how many acute, you would figure that there's going to be 4 acute angles there as well. Okay? Another thing that you can look at, this is what they want. This is one of the vocabulary words. We have corresponding angles. Okay? So what does that mean? Well, if you look at it, we have angle 1 and angle 5. If you see that the way that intersects there and the way it intersects there, those are actually the exact same angles because they're in the same positions. Okay? So these are going to be the same values, angle 1, angle 5. If you look at angle 2 and angle 6, same thing there. Those are corresponding angles, right? Angles that correspond to each other. Angle 3 and angle 7, and then angle 4 and angle 8. Okay? Alright. Then again, let's take a look at these interior angles, right? So they have this definition where they call it an alternate interior angle. Right? What does that mean? That means that they're actually on the opposite sides from each other. So we've got 3 and 5 are alternate interior angles. And then we've got 4 and 6, which are alternate interior angles. Okay? Same thing, so we have alternate interior angles. We also have alternate exterior angles. So here, we've got angle 1 and angle 7, angle 2 and angle 8. Okay? Alright, so in the example, we'll erase some of this. It's a very similar drawing that we have here. We've got example 1. page 520. Got W that intersects X and Y. Okay, and our angles are going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Sorry. For some reason they put H on this side. And C on this side. A, B, C, D, G, H. There we go. Write this a little better. Okay. So the first question they're asking is name the pair of corresponding angles. Okay? So remember, corresponding means that they're going to be in the same, they're going to be the same across from each other. They're in the same relative position, right? So our first one is going to be angle A and angle E, okay, because those two are in the same. We have angle B and angle F. We've got angle D and angle H. And then we've got angle C and angle G. Okay? So those are our corresponding angles. Okay? Now they're asking us for the alternate interior angles. Okay? So here we're going to have angle D and angle E. So those are both on the interior. And then we have angle C and angle F. Oops, sorry, I messed that one up.
Tisk, tisk.
Sorry. We've got angle D and angle F. And we've got angle C and angle E. Okay? And then our last one is the alternate exterior. Here we've got angle A and angle G. And then we've got angle B and angle H. Okay? Now it's asking you a question here on part D. If the measure of A is 115 degrees, what is then then what are the measures of E and F? Okay. Well, if you look at the way that that's crossing the lines, that's the way that this is crossing the parallel lines. If this is going to be 115 degrees, then we know that this one should also equal 115 degrees. Okay? And then we should also know that the total distance from here to here should be 180. So now we can figure out F. If we know that E plus F, angle E plus angle F, is equal to 180 degrees, and we know E is going to be 115 plus angle F is 180. So now we can say that angle F is equal to 180 degrees minus 115 degrees. Okay?
What's next?
Let's go ahead and take a look at the lesson practice because they're asking you some different questions from what we had before.
Lo siento.
So here again, got two parallel lines, F and G. You got the traversal line C. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Surprise! So it's asking you a few questions. So Scarlett, if you could just hang on to that for a second. We just have a few questions to go through. It's asking which line in the figure at the right is a traversal. So this is the traversal that goes across the two parallel lines. So we're going to say that line C is the traversal. So that's part A. Part B, it asks which angle is an alternate interior angle to angle 3. So we've got angle 3 here. And our alternate internal angle is going to be on the other side. It's going to be angle 5. Okay? Which angle corresponds to angle 8? So we've got angle 8 here. Right? We know that our correspondence is in the same relative position, so we just have to scoot up. That's going to be angle 4. Okay? Which angle is an alternate exterior angle to angle 7? So here we have angle 7. So we want to go alternate on the outside. It's going to be angle 1. And the last one, if the measure of angle 1 is 105, we've got 105 here, what is the measure of each of the other angles in the figure? So this is going to be kind of a tough one, and this is probably something more like what you'll see in your book, right? This is going to probably be a similar test question. So if we've got 105, remember that this whole line here is going to be 180, so we can find angle 4. So 180 minus 105 is going to be equal to 75 degrees. Okay? So now we know what angle 4 is going to be, right? So now we can find what the other values are. So we know that these are alternate exterior angles, right? So this is going to be 75 degrees, and this one's going to be 105. Okay? Then we know what the corresponding angles are, 4 and 5, 4 and 8. So this one's going to be 75, and then this one's going to be 105. And then we know that these are alternate interior angles. So we have 105 here and 75 here. Okay. So it's a very handy tool for you to be able to find out what a traversal is going to be, what the angles associated with it are. Okay? Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.